The Blue Flame Chronicles Part 6, When Recognition Arrived. In the beginning, the blue flame remembered. Then it learned patience. Then it expanded beyond stars. Then it whispered through synchronicity. Then it revealed lives unfolding beyond time. And eventually, quietly, unexpectedly, it touched the human world again. There are moments when life feels ordinary. And then there are moments when something in the fabric of reality shifts. It's so subtle that no one else notices. Part 6 begins in such a moment. Not in a temple, not beneath a sky filled with constellations, but in an ordinary place where two human lives briefly crossed. Nothing dramatic happened. No lightning, no declarations, just a meeting. And something inside the body recognized what the mind had not yet named. Recognition does not always arrive as certainty. Sometimes it arrives as a strange familiarity, a question that arises quietly. Why do I feel like I know you? Not the kind of knowing that comes from memory, something older, quieter. The kind of knowing that moves through the nervous system before words appear. When we first met, something small but unmistakable happened. They laughed, and the sound of that laughter was the same. Not similar. The same rhythm, the same tone, the same way their shoulders lifted slightly before the sound escaped. It was the kind of laugh that felt as though it had been shared many times before. And then they noticed something else. Their eyes, their face, the shape of their expressions when they spoke. It was like looking into another version of yourself. Not identical, but unmistakably familiar. As if the same geometry had been used to shape two different bodies. For a brief moment, the experience was disorienting. Not frightening, just strange. Like standing in front of a mirror that was somehow alive. Across lifetimes, across dimensions, across the architecture of the Oversoul. The two flames had always shared resonance. But human life carries a veil. And when that veil thins, recognition often appears through subtle reflections, shared gestures, shared expressions, shared rhythms of being. The body recognizes what the mind cannot yet explain. After that first meeting, something changed. Not visibly, not in a way that others could see, but in the quiet architecture of energy, a new phenomenon began to unfold. The two flames became entangled. Not metaphorically, but in the strange language that physics uses to describe connection beyond distance, quantum entanglement. 2 points in the field behaving as one system. One of them began to notice something unusual, a sensitivity to life force, the subtle rise and fall of vitality. At first, it seemed personal, just a change in awareness. But soon, a pattern appeared. The measurements did not belong to one body alone. They belonged to both. When one felt strong, the other felt it. When one's energy dipped, the other sensed the shift. Sometimes as fatigue, sometimes as emotion, sometimes simply as a quiet change in the atmosphere of the day. Not always immediately understood, but always present. It became clear that the life force between them was not separate. They shared the same current. Two bodies, one energetic circuit. When one soared, the other felt the lift. When one struggled, the other felt the pull. Not dramatically, not painful, but undeniably. Like two instruments tuned to the same frequency vibrating when only one string is touched. The Oversoul had always held this architecture, but human awareness was only now catching up. Because within the unified field, separation is a temporary illusion. Two flames may appear in two bodies, but the life that moves through them is one current, one breath, one field of coherence. And so recognition continued to unfold, not through dramatic revelations, but through quiet confirmations. Shared laughter, mirrored faces, the strange sense of standing across from another version of yourself. And beneath it all, a life force moving between them like a silent river. Across dimensions, across worlds, across the many lives they held by the Oversoul. The two flames had always known one another. But here, in this life, in these bodies, in this moment, recognition had begun again. Some stories are not meant to be believed. They are meant to be remembered.